Game's trying out some voices tonight out here.
Craig, precious.
My precious Craig.
I will love him and hug him and squeeze him, and he will be my Craig.
Goodness.
Should I do the whole opener like that?
Welcome to A4NB4Y.
It is your opener today.
Maybe I could do something silly like that. Work in some crazy laughs.
Welcome to A4NB4Y. Crazy mad scientist.
Sound like Ziggs.
Always burning.
Yeah, he talks really fast.
And she's down for the count.
Oh, you put that baby to bed, though?
I mean, for about, like, maybe, if I'm lucky, like 2 hours.
Alright.
Lucky day.
It worked out. She's been up for a while.
She wakes up again, just give her the headphones. I'll sing her a lullaby, no problem.
What's up?
Rockabye, baby.
Oh, lullabies? Yeah. I make up my own lingo.
Nah, I do that. I do that somewhere over the rainbow. I do You Are My Sunshine. What else I do? I do East Side, West Side. It's like a little nursery rhyme song.
I made up a wake up song for her. Like when she's like real slow to wake up and like drink her milk, and I'm just like, sometimes I spend like 3 hours and I'm like, you just gotta eat. Like I gotta wake you up. I know you like your sleep, but like you gotta wake up. So I'm like, it's just like really annoying. I just like have this like beat and I'm like, it's wakies, it's wakies, it's wakies time, it's wakies, rise and shine. And I just have like this whole song built up for her, and she like screams when she hears it. And I'm like, alarm clocks.
It's wake up time, baby.
That's where my brain went. I was imagining some. I mean, obviously, I know that wouldn't be the real one, but my brain immediately went to like death metal.
Goodness.
I'm closing out of that satisfactory. Don't want to be satisfied anymore. I haven't even played it in like 20 hours anyway. The game's just been on for like a whole day.
Even Discord's like, he's doing a marathon. I'm like, he's not. He's not even actually
He's
on.
never doing a marathon.
Wait, really? Epic Games says that?
Discord says that, I think.
Yeah, when you've been
That's
playing
fine.
a game for like 3+ hours or some metric like that, it tells everybody in the corner and says like they're on a marathon streaming so long.
Oh, yeah. And then I'm just like gone.
Yeah, you're not even playing it, but Discord's like, hey, look at him go.
He's doing it.
Wonderful. Wonderful checks. All right.
All right, now it says you played it for 68 hours. Is that? It says most played 68 hours. That means you streamed it for 60 or had it playing 68 straight hours once, I think. Discord recorded it.
That's
He almost
That's
hit
almost
3
a day.
days.
I know, right? That's great.
got that big money coming in. 68-hour streams, man.
Dr. Respectful.
Yeah.
The opposite of disrespect. So none of that stuff, you know.
Dude, I've been thinking about you with this Hurricane Milton, man.
Hurricane Milton's, he's got some juice.
I heard he hit Cat 5 today.
Uh-huh.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
Yeah, I checked on it. I checked on it today, actually, because I've been like, just like, you know what, whatever. But like, then I checked today. I'm like, oh, he's from Cat 5. But there's a chance that he can get caught in a like weather zone and he can get slowed. There's a possibility.
Okay.
But there's
Well,
also
either way, I'm going to be praying for you guys because I don't even know what that's like trying to just hunker down through a hurricane like that.
I've never been in one past a 2. And the 2
Okay.
was crazy. I mean, there was flooding everywhere. So I was in 2017.
Yeah.
I'm actually worried about my aunt because she's in Tampa.
Is your mom in Orlando with you, or is she like somewhere else in
Yeah.
the state?
No, she's more north than me, so she's like actually a little more safer. I mean, not by much. I mean, she's like 20 minutes up north, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
Milton's pretty much just gonna like roll south of Disney, unless the Disney magical bubble doesn't stop it.
I heard all the Disney buildings are built to survive Cat 5.
I wouldn't doubt it. Adamantium mortar,
All their hotels, anyway.
probably pretty safe places to hunker down.
Yeah. So maybe that's what you got. You just gotta like, rent out a hotel. Should.
That's what they're doing in Tampa. They're driving like other places because Tampa's like literally Tampa's the front line. Like if this was like a battle, like Tampa is the front line. So I kind of feel
Wow.
bad for everyone in Tampa. They're gonna get shreked. The good thing about Florida is most of Florida is built to withstand most hurricanes. I think what was so crappy with like a lot of Spanish style homes are very low to the ground. And it's like built with like stone. But a lot of the reason I think North Carolina got so destroyed is because most of all their stuff is just wood.
Yeah. Yeah, probably not built for hurricanes so much. But isn't Tornado Alley somewhere around there too? Like, I just feel like it was. I don't know. There's a
I thought
lot.
that was a little bit more west, wasn't it? Like, wasn't that like Tennessee, Missouri? I always thought.
Kansas.
Yeah, like that Midwest kind of junk.
Yeah.
I think it stretches from Midwest to a little Mideast, but I don't think it goes all the way close to like the coast.
That was a weird sound.
Sound like a can of
It was a
soda
can
getting opened.
of coffee that talked to me once I
Oh.
opened it. It said gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
Drinking that cafecito.
Cold brew. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Apparently it's
Cafecito
plant
Frio.
powered, but I'm like, how do you have a not plant powered coffee cold brew? Like cold brew is just coffee. It's cold brew. There's like no milk. There shouldn't be milk in cold brew. So why'd you just stick a plant powered sticker on it, man? I don't understand. Okay, I'm done. I saw like beans the other day and there was like plant powered, like plant or something. Like there was like a vegan sticker on. I'm like, it's beans. You trying to tell me like I didn't put pork
Beans
in it?
just ain't vegan in the first place.
Yeah, like what? These are legumes, man.
Vegan floor tiles. Get your vegan floor tiles here.
Frio is bean. Which means I said coffee bean, which is not what I meant to say. Frio is what I meant to say. Cold coffee. Cafecito frio. Put the H in there, it turns into bean. So cold
Mr. Bean.
beans is Frios Frios.
Frios, frios.
I wish you no cold beans this day.
Welcome to A4NB4Y, the Zelda-themed podcast that's currently deep diving into the Minish Cap. Last episode, we traversed the Cave of Flames, and now we're preparing to wade through the mire. My name's Cameron, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Ryan Fonzie, and I'm here to tell tales.
My name is Anthony, and I'm an ad for a wake-up mushroom. Can you believe it's not coffee? One bite of this fun guy will stimulate your senses and bring that pep back in your step. Wake-up mushrooms. How do you wake up?
Wow.
Phenomenal.
Yum.
Guys, this part of the game has no dungeons, but has all the references. And it's
Yeah, I'm not
wonderful.
gonna lie. I was
up?
confused for a lot of all of this. Of where to go.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I can go to North Hyrule. Well, yeah, there's some stuff there, but it's the best spot. Okay, I'm gonna go over to East Hyrule. Not really sure what I'm supposed to do over here at East Hyrule. I'm gonna go back down to South Hyrule. Not really anything but my grandpa, so I'm gonna go back over to West Hyrule. Yeah, I guess there's some stuff. Dead end. I'm gonna go back into town and just do some stuff here. I don't know really where I'm supposed to go here back in town. Maybe I could go back to East Hyrule. No, nothing there. I'm gonna go back up to North Hyrule. Maybe there, there's a vision. Well, nothing up there. I mean, maybe South Hyrule. Something happened. No, not really there. I guess I'll check out Hyrule a little bit. Maybe Castle Town has some stuff. That was my whole thing. It was very confusing, and I was like, I guess the whole time.
Yeah.
I used that select button power to get that hint that told me to go west.
I did not do that. I forgot about that.
Select button power.
Yeah, your little hat buddy tells you like, oh, we should. I think I heard something about to the west, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Speaking of head
yeah,
buddy, he gets some lore drop.
We do get some lore drop. I don't want to jump ahead just yet because there's a couple things I want to ask. First, if you didn't get the stuff on Mount Krennel, did you guys go back and get it?
Nope.
There's a no.
Yeah.
You did. All right. Cool.
No, I didn't. I laughed because I didn't get it.
Oh, I went back and got the bomb bag.
Ah.
I wanted that.
I thought
bomb
about
bag.
it, but I didn't. I might eventually.
I actually did that before we did the Cave of Flames. I think I might have even mentioned that last episode.
Yeah, you found it.
But that's not all I found.
I got the bigger wallet in town that I missed last time.
Nice.
But anyways, keep going.
Did you get the bigger wallet?
I did.
More
I got the bigger wallet this episode. So there's a lot of wallets in this game. Turns out
There is.
They come pretty quick too.
I got 2 back-to-back wallets in like 30 minutes of gameplay.
Right. It was silly. But I didn't just find the well for the bigger bomb bag. I actually found the fable that it's referencing. So back when we did, I want to say it was A Link to the Past, I purchased these 2 books, the complete works of the Brothers Grimm and the complete fables of Aesop. Because I started to see stories popping up that were like direct references to these things. So I went through and I found the actual story. And if you don't mind, it's 1 page or less. And I would like to read it for anyone who might be interested listening to this podcast. You'd like to know.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
If you're interested, great. Started your show, 50% of the audience is interested. So it's actually titled "The Woodcutter and Hermes." If you're familiar with Hermes, he's the god with the winged shoes, which might come up again later. But the story goes like this: a woodcutter who was chopping wood on the banks of a river had lost his axe. Not knowing what to do, he sat himself down on the bank and wept. The god Hermes, learning the cause of his distress, took pity on him. Hermes plunged into the river, brought out a golden axe, and asked the woodcutter if this were the one which he had lost. The man said no, that wasn't the one. So Hermes dived back. Hermes. That's not how you say that. So Hermes dived back in again, and this time he produced a silver axe, but the woodcutter said no, that wasn't his axe either. Hermes plunged in a third time and brought him his own axe. The man said yes, indeed, was the very axe which he had lost. Then Hermes, charmed by his honesty, gave him all three. Returning to his friends, the woodcutter told them about his adventure. One of them took it into his head to get himself some axes as well. So he set off for the riverbank, threw his axe into the current deliberately, and then sat down in tears. Then Hermes appeared to him also, and learning the cause of his tears, he dived in and brought him to a golden axe, asking if it were the one which he had lost. The man, all joyful, cried out, "Yes, it is indeed the one." But the god, horrified at such effrontery, not only withheld the golden axe, but didn't return the man's own. The end.
That's the origin of that whole, you get to choose like the gold, silver, or the real one, and if you are honest, then you get the payout kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the story.
The guy, I find it funny that the guy that hears about it and does it thinks it's like the axe is the real, like anything could have fallen in there, and he sat down and, you know, Hermes is like, oh man, this guy, he feels so bad about this, let me help this guy. And the other dude hears it, goes, I'm just gonna go buy some axes, it's gotta be axes, this guy only comes and helps with axes. Like, it's great.
So there was a little blurb at the bottom of this, and I actually just lost. Okay, there it is. So yeah, that's a good question. I guess I can read the footnotes about this story too, because I think it actually might address that a little bit, which is wild because I didn't expect that to be the thing, but yeah, for sure. So it says that the moral of the story, right? Be honest, right? The gods favor honest people, whatever. But the note here says this fable would appear to be based on an initiatory ritual from some mystery religion, and the motif of the valuable gold or silver weapon fetched by a god from beneath the water derives from the same source as the more familiar traditions of the Lady of the Lake, Excalibur, and the Ring of the Nibelungen. I don't know what that is, but I guess that's another story, another item. As for the axe, it had particularly sacred significance in Minoan times, and its sacred associations go back into the Stone Age cultures. So I guess there was something special about axes at the time, but
Fair enough.
When this story came about, but
Taught me.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know all the details. I just know what this book says. This is the Penguin Classics version of Aesop: The Complete Fables. So if anyone's interested in that, that's the source for that one. But I have two books, and the other one I'm going to bring up later when I feel like it's more relevant to what we're talking about. So I just wanted to throw that story out there just so that we can, like, once and for all, just share, okay, this is where it's from. So, because Zelda does this stuff. They'll just, like, reference random things, and if you don't know what they come from, then it seems really odd, but it's just like a storytelling tool of like referencing other stories to give some more meaning to their own context.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. So that happens on the mountain. But we ain't actually here to talk about mountains.
Nah. Right now, we here to go to Hyrule Castle and find us a sanctuary.
Yeah.
As I think we're told of as soon as we like get back from the mountain area to Hyrule from like the eastern entrance. Or no, the western entrance.
Yeah.
I believe our little friend is Aslo.
Yeah. I think Malari at the mines tells us to go to the elemental sanctuary and might even mention that it's in Hyrule Castle. And Aslo's probably for sure gonna remind us of that.
Yeah.
As we make our way back to town. So yeah. How much trouble did you guys have finding this sanctuary?
None at all.
0.
Okay, great.
I got very, I guess, lucky. I just went right to the throne room, happened to leave the right way after talking to the king, and then found it right after going down one staircase.
Yeah. If you talk to Minister Patho about it after you find the sanctuary, he's like, oh, there is a hole there? Oh, it just looks like a regular wall to the rest of us adults. So this
He's
is
always
another.
like, how come only kids can see? It's not fair. It's like, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
make the rules, bro. I'm not a Minish.
Yeah. So I guess this is a doorway that works the same way as the Minish do. You got to be a kid. You got to be, one of the good ones
Yeah.
to be allowed in. But
And then we get to combine the two elements we got so far into our soul.
right. So it becomes like the white sword plus, I guess.
That works for me.
It becomes
Write that
brown.
down. And it
This
allows
is-
us to make duplicates on squares.
The Two Swords Adventures.
Yeah. We get to make like a hologram shadow clone Link that can step on switches and push blocks with us.
Yeah, they can somehow help us push blocks. Not going to question it.
Can also slash at things. The same
Yeah, so
power
this-
as the first Link.
This sword is. I did get it done some research, and this sword
Alright.
is the sword in the Four Swords and the original Zelda, and
What?
like the OG Zelda is this. It's the sword. Like this is the sword, the white sword. Like the fully upgraded one. I'm assuming we get at the end of this game is the one in the original Zelda. And it's also the one in Four Swords, which is why you're able to split in this game, which they kind of kept it cohesive because, they were good at it back then, in the early 2000s. And yeah, so I thought that was really cool that I like kind of nerded out because I did play Four Swords Adventures, even if it wasn't good. It's kind of cool, like I mean, I'm hoping that at the end of the game when you get all the elements you can do 4. I'm assuming probably not, but it would be cool. But yeah, I was
I
like,
mean, there
"Yo,
is
this
a
cool."
bigger block that I found that I couldn't push with 2.
Yeah, there's some hints along the way that will tell you that we are going to be able to get even more duplicates as we get more elements.
'Cause
So
I'm assuming there's what 4 elements, so it's like
you
4
would
swords.
be correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's kind of cool. I mean, I know this is probably it's not like a direct prequel or sequel, but Vati is in both, so there's that.
yeah, it's a thing. But after we get this fancy new technique, it's. I think this is what we were talking about with like the longer charge time for the spin attack, because now there's actually like a magic bar that fills up before you can do a clone.
Yeah. It does take a little while.
It's a whole thing. But now we'll get puzzles that involve stepping on the right squares at the right time to hit the
Creating
right
a clone
switches.
that's the right distance away from you to get around things, to hit switches.
Yeah. And that mechanic will be like a staple for the rest of the game, pretty much. I mean, it's not going to be everywhere, but as we get more like clone spots, you will see more complicated clone puzzles come up. So, I mean, it's good. It's cool. Couple other well, actually, before we get into that, there's some Eslo backstory that we run into pretty soon, isn't there? Like right after this happens.
We step out of the castle.
Yeah.
Like if you go south of the castle, you step out, and then Vati does his like black transference through reality, where he just appears in front of you, and then kind of goes. This is where he drops. He basically comes in and says, "Ha ha ha ha! You'll never stop me, master." And then you're kind of like, "I ain't no one's master because I'm 12. So, are you talking to Eslo?" And he's like, "You'll never stop me, master." And then Eslo starts yelling at him, like, "You'll never get away with this, Vati." And then you kind of like, I think this is where you see the whole like scene where it's in the past and you actually see Eslo. It kind of
Yeah.
goes back in time, and
Well,
Eslo is like a man.
Yeah.
A Minish
no,
man.
he's a Minish man. Yeah,
Because
he's in
after
his
Vati
Minish
leaves,
form.
right? That Eslo's like, I have to tell you the real story. And then
Yeah,
kind of goes into his lore drop, yeah. So yeah, it goes
and
back in the past where Eslo's a man.
and so like Vati is sitting at this like table full of like all this like Minish science experiments. I don't really know. And there's a cap on the table, which I'm only assuming is probably the wish cap that he was referencing, which is probably the Minish Cap. I don't know if the Minish Cap is that or if the Minish Cap is actually Eslo. Could be either one. I don't know yet.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then,
I mean, I don't think the game ever specifically says, but I mean, you get the idea. One was made by the Minish for the Minish, and the other one was a Minish that got made into a hat. So,
yeah,
I mean,
Either
you're
or.
not wrong. It could be either one.
Didn't he make it for humans though?
yeah.
Yeah, he did. Sorry, I was just doing some we the people nonsense. So
We the Minish declare this hat human. Yeah, so Vati kind of just like picks it up, puts it on his head, and then starts laughing. And Eslo walks in. He's like, "No, no, Vati, don't do it." Then he transforms into evil Vati. I mean, we get to see Vati before he was like kind of like all twisted and evil, and like wished he was to be the best sorcerer in the world,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. I don't really
He's
remember what he looked
still-
like.
He still had red eyes even when he was like a normal Minish. I'm like, nobody thought to maybe keep this red-eyed, very evil-looking Minish away from all the really important artifacts. Okay.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of, I know this is way off topic, but I don't know if you ever watched Dragon Ball Super Fans, but it kind of reminded me of the Kai in that whatever universe it was that was like clearly evil, clearly wanted to kill all mortals. And the Elder Kai like just didn't see it and was like, yeah, there's all these cool gadgets around that you can just take advantage of and use to kill all mortals. And he's like, oh, okay. Kind of reminded me of that. Like, yeah, this dangerous man with, like you pointed out, red eyes, in front of something that grants any wish. It's
I wonder if they had a similarly bad way of telling whether they were a good or bad person. Because in Dragon Ball Super, the old guy's like, oh, as long as he can make a good cup of tea, it means he's a good person. Bad people can't make good tea. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So
it was wild.
And
then, oh, go on.
So question. I mean, he puts on this wish cap, right? He wishes to be the most powerful sorcerer. Also gives himself the purple glow up. The purple glow up. Try and make himself look cooler. And then ever since he did that, it's like he's just using sorcerer powers now, and he's not making any more wishes, even though he's still wearing the hat. Which I thought was confusing, because I'm like, if the hat grants anyway, it's like the Triforce problem, right? Like, somebody gets the Triforce, and it's like they always just make one big wish, and it's like, you could just keep making wishes, though. Like, you have the thing. And, like you know, Ganondorf in A Link to the Past had that problem. And in this game, it's like, he's got the wish hat still on, and instead he's just using his like sorcerer magic, which I mean is strong enough for sure, but you think it would be like, oh, that treasure that I wanted, I'm gonna go look for it. It's like, you could just wish for it, guy.
So
yeah, you kind of right. I was thinking like, what if the wish to be a sorcerer is like needs to be constantly fulfilled, so that's like his wish. But then when he was alone and nobody could like really do anything to him, he could just like cancel that real quick and be like, yo, that treasure I'm looking for though, let me see it.
So this is, you would never know this was a thing, but I'm reading the wiki and it says that, interestingly enough, when Vati wears apparently it's called the Mage's Cap, which is also known as the Minish Cap. Apparently it's called the Mage's Cap. Apparently it says it turns a dark near black purple and becomes inept. Yet when Princess Zelda, I need to stop reading, but it says it becomes unable, I guess, to do things when he wears it. So he got his wish, and
so now it's just a cool purple cap.
Now he's just using it for drip. Yeah.
He's just using it for drip.
Just using it for
It's
drip.
part of that glow up, man.
Yeah.
He turned into the edgiest Minish to ever exist.
I guess he's just so evil he corrupted it or something. I don't know. Or maybe he did it himself. Maybe he's just like, that he's such a powerful sorcerer now. He's just like, you know what? Pfft, ain't no one gonna get another wish.
He's such a strong sorcerer that he turns Eslo into a hat.
Yeah, and then just leaves him there without even like letting him remark.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, all right, mentor, have fun being a hat, and he just dips.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, Eslo is confessing to us that most of what has happened wrong in this world up until this point in the story was kind of his deal.
Yeah.
And he's out to try to set things right, which is great. But I mean, I think it kind of, like, to me, you know, when we first meet Eslo, he's just super rude.
Mhm.
He's kind of like that for a while, like criticizing Link all the time. And part of me is like, I wonder if that was just a front because my dude was just feeling insecure about everything that had gone down. Now
It's
the
his
world was
fault.
in danger
He
because
was
of
taking
him.
it out on Link.
Yeah, like dude was not in a good headspace.
I wanted to kind of put a point in there that made me think about Vati. He is not necessarily like, I don't know, he didn't come across to me as like he could have killed Eslo just straight up right there. Like 100%. And then we see him obviously when he comes, you know, we come out of Hyrule Castle and then with this whole dialogue runs, he traps us and then kind of laughs and says, you know, I'll go easy on you. And then spawns like 2 moblins. I'm like, he could have killed probably us again because Link does not have all his power-ups yet. He just keeps leaving Eslo alive and Link. And I'm like, either you're just a nice guy or you're dumb.
I feel like
And
that's
I'm
just
like,
a Zelda trope, isn't it?
mm,
Doesn't Ganondorf pretty much always, for the most part, know that Link is out trying to thwart his plans, but he kind of just always scoffs, going, what's this guy wearing green tights gonna do? But realistically, he could just go out there and smash him down when he only has like 5 hearts.
Yeah,
It's just
I mean,
that
it definitely
typical
is
thing
the
of the
thing,
villain
yeah.
underestimating the hero until it's too late.
I mean, this is a Game Boy Advance game. You're not gonna have the villain just murking people left and right.
Murking them.
It's no stacks in Hyrule. Like he's gotta set up challenges, maybe like threaten and everything, but he's not
also,
just
what
gonna outright murder out of nowhere.
I don't know if they went over this yet. Maybe this is like a later in the story thing that one of you guys might just tell me to shush. But his title, so like Vati's title on Wiki says Wind Mage and Wind Sorcerer. But I don't remember him doing wind
That-
powers.
That might have been from Four Swords Adventures. I don't know if that's his thing in this game.
Okay.
He turned Zelda to stone.
Yeah,
You know?
and then, like when he trapped us, he brought Earth up out of the ground and like released a barrier of Earth. So I'm like, is he an Earth Mage?
He's something.
He's just an all-around sorcerer.
He's Purple Cat Man.
Purple cat man.
Purple drip wizard.
Now, was it around here, or was it later on that we see another scene that's involving Vati?
That happened the next time you leave Hyrule Castle Town. So like, I think if you go into Hyrule Castle Town or if you go to the west and then you like either leave and come back or like one of those things, Eslo
Yeah.
says like, I have a strange feeling something bad is happening right now.
That was like right after you. Okay, I know where that is then.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So like that happened when I left Hyrule Town and went west a little bit. Eslo just kind of random. I mean, it might be on a timer, honestly, but Eslo was like, "Hey, there's some bad stuff happening right now. I feel, don't know where, but there is."
Do we want to cover that now? Because that is like the next thing we go do.
I mean, we can. That's fine if we want to get all of our Vati stuff out of the way. Because I mean, honestly, we're gonna end up backtracking and stuff anyway, so we might as well talk about.
So this is where I hit my select button and had Ezlo say, "Oh, we need to go to the west. That's where the next element is." And I was like, "All right." So ended up, going back to where we went to the cave to climb the mountain to get to the Cave of Flames. Except there's a ladder you can find in the southern part right when you walk into this area, and there's a block puzzle that you can now solve by pushing the block with your little duplicate guy we just unlocked.
Yeah, that's where we got the bottle for water originally. But there was clearly another puzzle there, which I think is why they wanted us to go into that cave. Like, even if you went to Mount Krenel, the one Deku scrub was like, "Hey, go see my friend in the other cave," so that you have to go.
Oh yeah,
see the way through.
So you had to see those glowing blocks there, and then hopefully remember them.
Yeah.
And then once we get through that cave and get to the southern area a little bit, we unlock one of those, we push a boulder into a hole so we can get a quick way back. And then on our way south, we hit another cutscene where Ezlo kind of looks off into the distance and goes, "It's quiet. Too quiet." And we see another Vati cutscene.
Yeah.
In this one, the king is just kind of chilling in the throne room. The advisor's not there. Zelda's poor statued form is just chilling as always. Vati kind of materializes, and the king's like, "What? What's that?" And then he just fades away again, and then appears right in front of the king's face, like staring him right in the eyes. He's like, the king's like, "Vati, no, what are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then immediately afterwards, the king orders everybody to go out and find the power of light, or the light trinket, whatever it was called.
The light force, I think.
The light force. And says, if anybody dares get in their way or not comply, throw them and their whole family in the dungeon.
I was confused what the light force was. Like, they haven't explained the light force yet. They were kind of just like, yeah, it's this thing that, like, is here. And even Ezlo was kind of like, yeah, it's like this really legendary thing. It's the light force, bro. And it's like, but what is this? So I looked it up, and you cannot convince me that this is not the force from Star Wars.
Okay.
It's just what it is. This is the light force is a gift from the Picori that holds immense power. It is a power found within all living organisms. But then it goes on to say and contradict itself. Yeah. Then it goes on to contradict itself and say the light force was entrusted to the royal family of Hyrule after the conclusion of the War of the Bound Chest, and this golden relic was pivotal in enabling the hero of men to drive away the evil. But it was, hold on, it's in all living organisms, but it was entrusted to the royal family. What?
Yeah, you got to entrust it to good people, I'll fall into the wrong hands, sort of thing.
Yeah, like, I mean, you give it to all living things, but only the royal family is entrusted with it.
Yeah, I've always, this whole time, just thought of it as being one part of the Triforce, like one individual triangle of the I don't know why that's what I've been imagining this as, but that's what it's been to me. Every time they say Light Force, I'm just thinking one part of the Triforce, but that the whole Triforce might not exist in this game, in this universe.
Well, I will show you an image that might make you a psychic genius.
Just the Light Force triangular in this image.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed it is.
That was from the beginning of the game, though. That was from like the stained glass images towards the beginning, I'm pretty sure.
That's not.
Okay.
And somehow nobody thinks to like question the king or to be, I mean, somebody at some point that I talked to said, "Oh, it sounds like the king's a different person now." And I'm like, why isn't that the more common thing? Like, right? Everyone knows that the king only cares about saving Zelda. All of a sudden he's threatening to throw everybody that doesn't help him search for this light force into the dungeon just like that. And everyone's like, yeah, this is totally the king.
Well, I mean, he's trying to get his daughter to not be stoned anymore. Maybe he's, everyone's like, oh, the life force is what's going to bring Zelda back. For sure, we got to get this.
To threaten to throw their families in the dungeon for non-compliance, though?
I mean, he really cares about his daughter.
I mean, I get that. I do.
Taylorian.
You don't burn the world down to save your daughter, though.
So bad things are happening in Hyrule for sure.
As
It
those
actually tightens up some security at the castle too, I think, if you go back.
Yeah, you're not allowed to go into the throne room area anymore for the moment.
Oh. I didn't try, but I was wondering what happened if I went and talked to him.
Their dialogue, the guards' dialogue changes too. Like if you go up to them, it's real violent. I don't remember specifically, but I remember they were like, "You're not allowed here, and you'll never be," or like, "You're not allowed here," and then something violent, and then they're like, "Be gone with you now," and then there's like 4 exclamation points, and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, jeez."
All right.
And I was feeling real frustrated, and you know what I did? I was like, I gotta get stronger. There's no way I could take on these guards without getting stronger. So I went on over to Tiger Man.
Swiftblade.
Yeah.
Swiftblade's pretty cool. Swiftblade's got a brother up at Hyrule Castle, but I don't have any way to light his torches that he has in his room yet, so I haven't been able to train with him yet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But once I get a way to light them torches, though, I'm going back there. But the original Swiftblade is open for business again. He sees that we've gotten stronger, gotten a better sword, and he offers us a new lesson which allows us to cut pots.
I did not know this.
And he still does the possession technique in order to teach us how to cut a pot.
Man only knows how to teach one ways.
At this point, Swiftblade could solo Vati.
Dude, he could just possess Vati.
I
He doesn't
think
even have to fight him.
Bam.
You know how I've been disposing of pots without that ability?
By picking them up? Or by using the gust pot?
No. If you use the wand that knocks stuff up, you knock the pot up like 4 feet and it falls to the ground and shatters. So I've been just popping them at a distance.
Mm.
I've been Call of Duty in these pots. Yeah, the cane of pots. See,
I do see.
It's got a cool little animation every time you do it on the pot. Do you actually see it? Like it goes up straight and then it turns midair and lands on its side. So you see like this weird in between frame of it being on its side.
It's kind of like those the big ones that you do, the Minish ones, except they don't break.
Yeah. So I guess that's another not a book story time, but a personal story time. First time I played this game, I didn't know about those big old blue pots being upside down to make Minish things. So I was stuck here for a long time before I figured out that I could be a Minish in some key places. But the world, I mean, especially with the Kanepachi, the world of Hyrule, opens up quite a bit. We still can't get to every Minish hole. We still can't do a certain Minish side quest that we can learn about, but we can't do. So I guess we'll talk about that proper another time. But let's just say that there are still places you can't get to. But a lot of buildings have these big blue pots that you can now flip over and turn into Minishifying upside down pots. And that's going to be a critical thing.
I didn't even know you could flip those pots over. I only found the one that was pre-flipped.
Through this? Oh,
it was already flipped. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. I was like, why are these blue pots that I can hop into and just kind of chill in even here?
Yeah.
Oh, sneaky.
Right. So I guess I wouldn't have gotten stuck here. I would have gotten stuck later, which I think is what actually happened. But I guess just for a point, if you want to do more side stuff now, you can flip some pots.
Nice. You think with all my pot flipping, I would have realized this, but
all dutying all the little ones, but not the big boys.
That's right. I'm too scared.
Before we get to more critical path, I think we could probably share, like, if you guys did any fancy kinstone stuff or any other side stuff. Like, an example, I found another fairy fountain in the Minish Woods,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "Give me all your rupees." And originally, I had like 300 rupees, and I was like, "Maybe later." And then I went and spent most of those rupees, and then came back with 16.
Heated the system.
And she was like, "Give me all them rupees," and I
She
was
shouldn't
like,
give you nothing.
"Sure." And then she ends up not actually taking any rupees, and she's just like, "Oh, you really would have given me those rupees? Oh, well, here you go," and gave me a bigger rupee bag.
Yo.
And I was like, "Oh, I could have said yes earlier, and you wouldn't have actually taken the rupees. Cool."
I decided to say screw it. If she was going to take all my 150 rupees, I was like, go ahead, whatever. I could just break some bushes. And then she didn't. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. I did, however, spend a bunch of rupees trying to get some kinstones to do some kinstone fusions. I got a decent amount done.
I did 3 this play.
I managed to do a kinstone fusion with the king.
Ooh.
Ended up with like 300 mysterious shells. Like it was like some stupid amount of mysterious shells he puts
Why
right
is the
next to
king
Master
just?
Smith's house. Yeah.
Oh, they just dropped in. Okay.
Yeah. Like he opened up a bush somewhere, and I went in.
You dropping in, boys.
I've kinstone fused with Tingle and 2 of his brothers, one of which was David Jr. I was so happy.
David Jr.
I did 2 tingles.
There you go.
The green one and the white one.
I think I got the pink one, and then I saw where the last guy is, but I didn't get his kinstone yet. What you'll find is that a lot of people want the same kinstone, which is really frustrating because I have a bunch of kinstones that just aren't the right shape. But most of them aren't actually critical, so there's that. I did some kinstone fusion, I think with the Goron that was like chilling outside, busting up a cave.
Nice.
And if it was him, I'm not sure if it was him or not, but one of these fusions that I did brought another Goron into town who set up a kinstone shop. So he just straight up sells kinstones. You can't choose what you get. You can just choose the color. And then once he sells it to you, it's like, oh, that's the shape. And then you can't buy another one again for a while. So,
Oof.
yeah.
I've been finding these little joints just out places. I found 2 in the grass, and then I got another one by beating a moblin, maybe? We haven't really talked about him yet. Actually, no, we did. They were the guys that Vadi summoned to fight us earlier. But there's just some on the overworld in the next area we go to, and one of them just dropped a kinstone.
Yeah.
I can't Apache'd a lot of grass and got like 4 kinstones.
I was say in the Castor Wilds, right? Because that's like the spot to the left there.
Yeah, it's before the isn't the Castor Wilds the swamp itself?
Yeah, so it's just the path up to the swamp. There's a few mobs.
There's some kind of name designation for all those fields in the west before you get to the Castor Wilds.
Trilby Highlands.
The Trilby Highlands.
Trilby.
There we go. And there's moblins all over that place. But then there's also these bandits. Not acro bandits. A different kind of bandit.
Fox bandit.
Keaton?
Yeah, there's actually like a name for him, though. I wish I could see.
Keaton?
Is it a Keaton?
Yeah, it's a Keaton. It's the thing that the
Oh, yeah.
Keaton mask is based off of in Majora's Mask.
Well, I would say that this guy's based off of the Keaton mask.
Yes.
But it's unfortunate because there was a Keaton in Majora's Mask, and he was just like a riddle master dude. He would just quiz you on the game. And when you get all his questions right, you get a reward. This game, Keaton's out for blood.
Yeah.
Rocking a dagger and some skills.
He likes to charge things.
But he's all over the Trilby Highlands. The thing about the Trilby Highlands, if you just farm moblins and Keatons, they have a drop rate for green kinstones, which is great because green is usually what the NPCs want. when they're like side questy NPCs. So if you need to grind out some green kinstones, just run up and down the Trilby Highlands, just wrecking cats, and you might get some. Pro tips.
I was popping them for blue rupees.
You were popping them for blue rupees.
Actually, the moblins can drop red rupees. I got like 3 reds
Really?
out of these guys. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I got unlucky then. I only got blues.
Nice.
I was very happy getting red drops.
So, I mean, you guys might have been able to go to Wheaton and Pita's Bakery and get some sweets like I always do.
No.
No.
Nah.
Did either of you guys stay in the hotel? The hotel's back up and running.
I didn't stay in it, but I did go in it for a side quest.
Oh, nice. What was the side quest?
When you get to the Trilby Highlands, like in the first page of getting into them on the left side, there's a bush with a hole, like an entrance into it. And if you go in, there's a character that said she stayed at the inn and lost her kinstone there. So if you go there and in one of the pots is a kinstone, it's the exact one that she wants to match with.
Oh.
And then once you do that, it opens up one of the pathways in Trilby Highlands. You can go to her house, and she's outside of her house saying that somebody found her house and went into it and is just in there now. And she doesn't know if they're a thief or whatever, but she's too shy to talk to them and doesn't want to. So you go in there and she basically just says, yeah, you're going to need the Pegasus boots.
So this is, I think this is Percy that you're talking about.
It is, yeah.
Percy's a dude.
Oh, I mean, I can't tell. He's got like long hair, so
I mean, at a glance, for sure, this is I could totally understand. But yeah, he's got some issues going on. You can go inside that house too and see who's just there, but you can't really do anything until you can light up the room. So once again, we need a way to light a torch in order to go any further with his whole deal.
Yeah, but that person just tells you again to get Pegasus boots, even though the sign also tells you that.
Yeah. So, I don't even know. Percy documents everything in poems. So every time you interact, like he has to tell you a verse of his poem. Because that's just the way he lives his life. He's like the poet laureate of Hyrule.
And too scared to go in his house with an old lady in it.
Well, I think there's more to the old lady, but yeah, I mean, his house he's got a squatter for sure.
Yeah, right.
I was literally about to ask you guys if either of you met the poet, and then you're like, I met this girl. And I was like, I think he might be talking about the poet.
I was definitely talking about the poet.
Hilarious. I wish I could say I had any more like good kinstone interactions, but it's really all mysterious shells or the kinstone merchant otherwise. So, pretty uneventful on that front, I guess. But I guess we could get into like the actual main thing we need to do in order to actually go to the Caster Wilds, because everybody's like, hey, you need special footwear if you're gonna go through this muck.
Yeah, how I did it, because I didn't read the signs or talk and interact with
Percy Jackson.
That girl. I don't know that girl, whatever her name is. Just kidding. I went straight to the swamp and I was like, ooh, swamp. And then I ran through it and then I immediately sank. And as I was like, yo, bro, I'm going to level with you. I don't think this is for you. You might need to up your game a little bit. And then I was like,
AirPodsy ones.
Gotta get them AirPodsy, my guy.
AirPodsy. So yeah, gotta go back and get those AirPods. We all know there's a guy who likes to fall asleep in town. I went back into town, and I don't know if you guys are noticed, but I think it's at this point. I don't remember seeing it before, but I went to the store and there's a boomerang up in there.
What? Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah. And you know what? I was so mad. I was 7 rupees short. It's
Man.
300. I was at 293. I was like, come on, man, come on. And I still don't have it. But I'm excited when I get back on, get 7 more rupees. I'm gonna get that boomerang.
So I got like a confession to make about this part here.
Oh no.
I did not. I had no clues to go off of, and I forgot there was a shoe store in town.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I kind of went on a walkthrough for just the tiniest little nudge, and then
I didn't do that.
I read it said like in the town you'll remember there's a place that sells shoes, and I was like, oh, okay, that's enough for me. And
Yeah,
that's how I continued on. But I was stuck here for like 5 to 7 minutes of just staring at the screen, thinking like, what do I do next? Where do I go? I know I need shoes, but where the heck am I going to get shoes? And I gave in and looked it up real quick.
yeah. I for some reason just entirely blanked on the shoe store, even though we had talked about it in one of our
Right.
episodes. Like I've been in there a few times now. So I mean, I think I went to Castor Wilds and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna need shoes." I'm like, "All right, well, I'm gonna do some other side quests too," and I just like wandered for a while. And nobody in Hyrule that's not the shoe guy. I mean, even the shoe guy doesn't really tell you much. But nobody was like, "Hey, if you do this for me, I got these 6 shoes." And I was like, so eventually I was wandering doing side quests, and I was like, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Like I just completely blanked, and I was like, I want to go talk to my grandpa, Master Smith. So I went over to Master Smith's shop, and he's like just banging away on a sword, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, no, Link, you're here. Like, oh yeah, things have been going crazy. Hey, by the way, there's this really cool shoe shop in town. I was like,
Oh, no.
yo, there it is. I knew I came to you for a reason.
Oh no.
Grandpa coming in with the facts.
Right? I did a Kinstone fusion with him, and he actually like did something cool. I don't remember what it was now, but it wasn't mysterious shells. I know that. He might have just given me like a ton of rupees or something.
Yeah,
But,
Grandpa's legit.
yeah.
Did anyone else get the cutscenes going into Master Smith's house there of Eslo being like, yo, let me see your room though?
Yeah.
And then you go upstairs, he's like, that's a comfy looking bed. We should take a nap. And I'm like, why? And then I went to talk to Grandpa, and Grandpa's like, hey, if you want to take a nap. I was like, why does everyone keep telling me? So I took a nap. Like, I thought maybe something would happen. This is before I figured out about the shoe store. But it was just weird that 2 different NPCs were like, yo, we should take naps right now. And it didn't do anything.
It didn't restore your health or anything? I mean,
And it wasn't missing any health.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would...
They just
yeah.
wanted me
might
to take a
restore your
nap.
health.
I mean, it probably does, but I thought it was funny. Like,
Oh my god.
it's good stuff. It actually got me to take a nap thinking something would happen because 2 NPCs told me about it in the
You're gonna get some
vicinity.
special kinstone piece, and you just wake up and you're like, all right, that was fun.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting. Like maybe wake up and Eslo's be like, "Oh, I remember where those shoes are now," or something. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, there's the hotel, and if you stay there for a night, it does restore your health, but then you also get a kinstone according to what room you paid for. So,
Okay. Because the guy did say, depending on how much you pay, it is worth your time to pay more or something. The guy that's in there.
yeah. So home is like if you just want to sleep and get the restoration, but you don't want to pay for the kinstone. You just get the good sleep, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, so Master Smith's like, hey, there's a really cool shoe shop you should check out. I was like, you're right, there is. I should. And I went and I Minishified, and I was actually able to go up and talk to the Minish in the shop this time. And they're like, yeah, this dude falls asleep and we make his shoes for him. He's not really great at what he does, but you need special shoes for the mire. Yeah, we got you, but we need some materials first. So you probably have to go talk to Syrup the Witch. She'll have some.
Syrup.
Can we talk about the town Minish's mad steez though? Like their hats. They look like snowboarders.
The town Minish has.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
They
Let
look
me tell
like
you guys
snowboarders.
Let me tell you
I've
about a
definitely
little.
seen him while playing, but I don't remember now.
I had an inconsistency in this shoe shop. So when I walked in, he fell asleep, right?
Yeah.
And he knocks a pair of shoes down right in front of the stairway that you need to go up to actually talk to those Minish. And so
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how am I going to get up there when those shoes are in the way? But I went in the pod anyways, and I shrunk. And when I shrunk, the shoes disappeared.
Yeah.
And it let me go up the thing. So that was kind of odd. Because there's like a 50% chance when I walk in there and see those shoes in the way, I'm thinking I got to get these shoes out of the way, and then I like leave without even trying because clearly there's an obstacle. But if you just shrink, all of a sudden the obstacle poofs. I was a little annoyed, but at the same time I didn't actually waste any of my time. But I was like, that could have if I would have like tried to think ahead and be like, there's no way I can get up there because these shoes are in the way.
Huh. For me, I think I walked in and the dude like fell asleep and knocked the shoe like to the side or something. Like there was like a little cutscene when I walked in, and then there was like a little bell noise, like do 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 do, like I did something. I don't know if it's because I was in the shoe shop like right before that.
I don't know, because I feel like in one of the other episodes, you guys said that we could go in the shoe shop and we could turn Minish, but there was something in the way from us actually talking to the Minish, and
if you
those
climbed
were the
stairwell,
shoes?
there were shoes on the table we couldn't get past.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those
so
are the
he
ones he
knocks those
knocks
off the
down.
table. Okay.
Yeah.
Still, though, they did look like they were right in the way of the stairs and then just disappeared. I guess the point was to get them off the table, though.
Yeah. So I think what's really interesting about this is they send you off to get a material, but the material that you get isn't for making shoes. Like it has nothing to do with them actually putting the thing together. I think they need, in order for the shoes to get finished, the dude has to wake up.
They need
Like,
him
yeah,
to actually work.
They say
Yeah.
that he has a final touch he has to put on them before they're done.
Right. So we need to go get this wake up mushroom.
So I want to say something about this guy. So his name is Rem.
Yeah.
Yeah, they 100% named him for the sleep cycle.
For sure.
And what else was it? There was like some story. I don't know, you can look it up, but it was
Bro.
like the
Bro.
what?
I told you I got the Grimm's fairy tales. You ain't even gotta tell me twice. I
Oh,
got
I
the story
forgot.
up
You got
right
that.
here in front of me right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got it. Okay.
You guys want it now or you want it when we get back? You let
Oh,
me
we
know.
can do it when we get back. We can do it when we get back.
Alright.
Let me just say for the viewers, REM stands for rapid eye movement sleep. It's one of the deeper sleep cycles.
Yeah, he's gone. He's out.
He's out.
Yeah, he's outie.
Because during that time of sleep, your eyes are actually rapidly moving underneath your eyelids, which is kind of weird to think about.
It's associated with dreaming.
Yeah.
It's not the only time you dream, but it's one of the more easily trackable times you're dreaming.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Right. So we gotta find this witch. And part
It's
of
not
that-
easy.
Yeah. I mean, the long story short, I guess, is we gotta go through Lon Lon Ranch.
Which
Yo,
is like
long story short, this guy even knows that his house is the only way to the lake, though. If you ever need to get to the lake, just go ahead and cut through my house, my guy. Like, oh, wait, I'm
That
sorry.
is what he tells
Did you? Wait, what?
if you need a way through to Lake Hylia, just take a shortcut through my house. Like, bro, what?
Guy is too trusting.
Yeah.
Also, all the cows look like they have anime hair. It's great. Like I saw those cows and I thought of like Sora or Roxas from Kingdom Hearts hair on top of the cow because it's what it looked like.
Oh no.
A lot of characters in this game actually do have anime hair. Like Vati's hair is pretty anime.
You're right.
It's got like that flip down and everything.
Yeah, this game do be having the anime stuff going on a little bit. But yeah, we have to, in order to get through his house the first time though, we gotta like minish our way inside and get the key. But when we get the key, we can't use it from the inside. Like we can't open the door from the inside.
Yeah, that was odd.
We have to go back outside to give him the key to open it. It's almost like we didn't want him to know that we went into his house to get the key.
Even though there's no other way we could have gotten it.
Right.
He's like, how did you guys get this? Ah, never mind. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Basically. So then we can go through out to the farm and have ourselves a little bit of farm exploration. If you go towards Lake Hylia, that's how you get your third tingle, I think. Or at least for me, that's where he was.
Yeah, that's the white tingle.
Yeah. So maybe the second one.
The wingle.
Okay.
It's a Pokemon.
Wingle.
Wingle.
Anyway. We end up getting like a third entrance into the Minish Woods, kind of. You see signposts that say that there's like a wooded cabin of some kind out there somewhere too, but we don't have the items we need to get to it.
There was actually 4 entrances, because wasn't it also like a side entrance on the same side that you leave the first time to get to that fairy fountain where we got the bigger wallet?
So yeah.
So this is the 4th different entrance into the woods.
Right. And
a lot of ways into these woods.
Leads us on our way to Syrup's hut. And Syrup is just a potion witch who doesn't have a whole lot to share with you, but is totally willing to part with her fancy schmancy wake-up mushroom that's chilling on the floor.
And tries to push some blue potion on you too.
Yeah.
Great sales lady.
But I keep fairies though, so I ain't about that.
That's true. You know, we already kind of passed it, but I was carrying water because there was a certain Minish back in the Trilby Highlands inside his little hut that said, I planted a bean outside my house and it won't grow. And so I was looking around for a bean to put water on, and there was like a rock that I thought might have been a bean, and I put water on it and nothing happened. So I don't know where the heck this man planted a bean, but I can't find no bean.
Me neither.
About that, I did the same thing. I looked it up because I got frustrated. Because I tried 2 different beans. Because there's 2 different Minish who both said they planted a bean. One of them was right outside Minish Woods, and one of them was all the way over in Trilby. And they both have that same rock outside, which I'm pretty sure is a bean, but it's not a waterable bean.
What the heck?
Their beans will grow when you fuse kinstones with them.
Oh no.
So
he didn't even have the question mark appear, though.
Yeah.
What the heck? All right.
Sorry.
Lousy bean, no water needing to grow bean kinstone.
Right. You trek bean all the way across Hyrule because, Mount Krennel taught us to water the beans.
Yeah, as did almost every other Zelda game that has a bean in it.
Right.
I've been watering beans since I was like 10 years old.
How do you guys water your beans? I water my beans with plant food.
I water my beans with water.
I water my beans with happiness.
Where's the electrolytes, though?
It's what plants crave.
That's what they crave, bro. Oh, gosh.
They use Rondo.
They're using Prime.
Oh, gosh. So I tried to look up what the association is between witches and mushrooms. You might not be surprised to find that there's like a history of psychedelic mushrooms that are associated with witchcraft. Also medicinal purposes and whatnot. But also like a circle of mushrooms is sometimes referred to as a Hexenkreis. If that sounds like a foreign word, it's because it is.
I've seen one of those before.
To witch circle.
I've seen a circle of mushrooms.
Yeah, there's some other names for circles of mushrooms that are like fairy circles, which is also relevant to this game since the Minish are treated like fairy folk in certain contexts as well. So there's some kind of tie-in there, but my curiosity was more like we've had witches and or elder ladies either wanting mushrooms or using mushrooms as a trope throughout Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just trying to figure out like what is this based on, and it just seems like general folklore. Like there's not like a story necessarily. It's just kind of a thing. I believe how mushroom circles works is that mushrooms are actually based on like the part of the mushroom you see is just the fruiting part of the mushroom. The actual organism kind of exists underground. Mycelium? Yeah.
Mycelia.
Heard that word.
So the mycelium is like all underground and typically covers an area that, I mean, it's kind of like a web. Like it's all often circular, which I think is why mushrooms grow in circles. Because what you're seeing is just the actual visible part of the organism and it pops up around the edges. Whereas, the actual thing is circular underground. So
We're seeing the yummy part.
yeah. So I mean, it does seem magical when you see it, which is probably why all the folklore happens. But yeah, I've heard them referred to as fairy circles or fairy villages before, but I had not heard of them being called witch circles until I started looking into it a little more. So my thoughts on this are maybe the Hyruleans in this game, the Hylians, if you will, when they see oddly placed mushrooms on the ground, they just tell themselves, oh, that's like, yeah, we have a witch who lives local for sure. There's mushrooms everywhere. Like, they don't even think that there could be a Minish house. They're just like, oh, yeah, mushroom, leave it be.
Don't want to upset the witch.
Yeah. But that's just me. That's conjecture. That's not anything in the game, so.
I will say,
What up?
with Syrup here, this is the first game that they did not include Maple as a character together with Syrup. They've been like together, so it's Maple Syrup.
Right.
Maple's the apprentice to Syrup, but this is the first game where it's just Syrup, and it's like, bro, that you just ruined everything.
Okay. I'm sorry they left out Maple.
They
They
left
took
out
the
Maple,
maple
man.
out of the syrup. Man.
Nomenclature. It's gone. Why?
What are we gonna put on our pancakes now, man?
We ain't need
You've
Maple
left the syrup open to interpretation.
We got that wake up mushroom though.
We
We
do got
do.
that wake up
A
mushroom.
whole different kind of morning. You know what I mean?
And
Didn't
it's
it cost
stimulated-
like 80?
60.
60? That's still an expensive mushroom, man. I was expecting like 20 or 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for a plot critical item, you would think it would be pretty cheap, but nah, she's gouging out here.
Right? I guess we did just get the big wallet on the way, though.
She's like, I know what I have.
Yeah, right.
You ain't gonna shortchange me.
One mushroom.
How many
That's what
many
you got.
Hylians do you think want to be this productive? Yikes, syrup. All right. But we can make our way back, return with this wonderful mushroom to wake up the guy who puts the finishing touches on the boots. And I don't even think we gotta pay for the boots. I think he just gives them to us. I could be misremembering.
Oh, he does. He gives them to us. He's so happy that we woke him up. He gives us the boots.
Nice. So I got this this story here from out of this book. I mean, I don't actually know. Look, Princeton publication, right? The complete first edition, the original folk and fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm, translated and edited by Jack Zipes. Huzzah! All right, so within this book, there's this story. There's a whole subset of stories about the elves, but this one is subtitled "About the Shoemaker for Whom They Did the Work." And buckle up, y'all, because it's gonna get crazy.
Oh.
Okay. A shoemaker had become so poor that he didn't have enough leather left for a single pair of shoes. In the evening, he cut out the shoes that he planned to work on the next morning. However, when he got up the next day and was about to sit down to do his work, he saw the two shoes already finished and beautifully made, standing on the table. Soon a customer paid so well that the shoemaker could purchase enough leather for 2 pairs of shoes, which he cut out that evening. The next morning, when he once again wanted to sit down and work, They were already finished, just as the pair had been the other day. Now he was able to purchase enough leather for 4 pairs of shoes from the money he received from the 2 pairs, and so it went. Whatever he cut out in the evening was finished by morning, and soon he was a well-to-do man again. Now, one evening right before Christmas, after he had cut out many shoes and wanted to go to bed, he said to his wife, "We should stay up one time and see who does our work in the night." So they lit a candle, hid themselves in the corner of the room behind the clothes that had been hung up there, and watched closely. At midnight, 2 cute little naked men came and sat down at the workbench, took all the cutout pieces of the shoes, and worked so swiftly and nimbly that the shoemaker could not take his eyes off of them. Indeed, they were incredibly fast, and he was amazed. They didn't stop until they had finished the work on all the shoes. Then they scampered away, and it wasn't even day yet. Now the shoemaker's wife said to him, "The little men have made us rich, so we ought to show that we're grateful. I feel sorry for them running around without any clothes and freezing. I want to sew shirts, coats, jackets, and trousers for them, and you should make a pair of shoes for each one of them." The shoemaker agreed, and when everything was finished, they set all the things out in the evening. They wanted to see what the little men would do and hid themselves again. Then the little ones appeared as usual at midnight. When they saw the clothes lying there, they seemed to be quite pleased. They put the clothes on extremely quickly, and when they were finished, they began to hop, jump, and dance. Finally, they danced right out the door and never returned. The end.
Okay.
So, all right. So a couple things. I don't them being naked and getting clothed, like before you realize that they're going to get clothed, it's just sounds like such a random detail. Like, why did they have to be naked? But this is a wild story for them to be referencing here. I feel like it's well known enough in paraphrased versions where you see a shoemaker and Minish and you're like, "Oh, I get it. It's like a thing." But the actual story is like, I'm not really sure what the point of it is.
Don't show people gratitude or they leave. Like, I mean, that's
Well,
honestly what it sounds like.
It's what it sounds like, but I
It
don't know.
reminds me of like Harry Potter and how like Dobby was given a sock and then he was free. Like they were
Right.
given clothing by people who weren't their owner and they were just helping is the weird part. And then they got that gift and then they just left.
Well, that's the thing. Like that detail in Harry Potter. I mean, Dobby's called a house elf, right? Like, it's for sure a reference. Like that is that. I mean, I could not. If it wasn't a reference, I would not believe the person who told me that. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
He gets clothes, and that's how he gets freed. In this one, I mean, it doesn't say that they're like working for clothes or anything. It just seems like they're so overjoyed by the fact that they got these clothes. And it's interesting that they didn't get clothes until it was almost Christmas. So I almost wonder if the steez of the town Minish is also a reference to this, because they got like hats and jackets and stuff. You know, like they look like they're decked out for winter. When it's not even winter time in the game. But yeah, these Minish are not about to get caught making shoes, and they're not about to get clothed because they're already fully clothed. So I'm wondering if this shoemaker is like the next guy they went to help.
They already got the clothes.
But yeah, it's an interesting story. I mean, I think, in the end, it's like it's a happy ending, right? Like they got all this help, they became wealthy, they paid it back, like. Suddenly, like, there's just gratitude abound both ways. So people making each other happy. Very Kinstone-esque, if you ask me. But yeah, no, it's a silly story, I feel like, but it works really well for being whimsical in this game. So there's that. And so we end up with Yawn footwear of Hermes himself. Some winged shoes.
Some Airpatchy ones.
Talaria.
Wouldn't it be better, because it's like the Air Force Ones is the name of the show, so wouldn't it be that Life Force Pachis?
Could be.
I think you're getting brands mixed a little bit, maybe. I mean, they're all Nike, but I don't know. There are Air Force Ones, and there are Air Jordans, and they're not.
Yeah, it's the Air Force Ones, so it'd be the Light Force Ones.
All right. Maybe, but that gets rid of the Pachi part.
Forget about
Pachi.
Pachi.
Come on, he's where the whole thing came from.
Pachi.
Don't you remember the totally canonical story?
Yeah, it was canon. is canon, straight canon.
Yeah,
Change the
about
wiki
Pachi.
online.
You know about
Pachi.
Robert's story.
Yeah, about Pachi.
Not even a mystery.
So you can speak to dogs now. That's cool.
Oh yeah, that's the thing we haven't mentioned yet. Anytime you're Minish, you can speak to animals. I think the Jabbernut was more effective than we thought, but it only works when we're Minish, which is kind of cool, honestly. Like we could talk to dogs. We can talk to, if you find a cat, you can talk to the cat. You can talk to the cows if you're Minish, but we haven't gotten there as a Minish yet.
House it was. It was like the little terrier that was in like Majora's Mask. That dog. I was in a house and that terrier was in there, and he's just running all around the house, like left, right, left, right. I became small, and I went to go talk to him. There was like literally nothing else in that place to do but talk to the dog. And he's like, "Oh man, I just want my owner to come home. He's been coming home so late. I just want to play with him, man." And I was like, "Oh, my heart, the tears." It's like the saddest I've been this whole game. It's just that dog.
Yeah. I said you can talk to cats. I don't know if there is a friendly cat. Actually, to correct myself, most of the cats will want to attack you as a Minish.
That adds up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, beware the cats. I think there might be one friendly one in the game, but I'm not even sure about that.
I shall ride this ferocious feline into battle.
That doesn't happen. I can say that for sure.
Dang it. My dreams.
Your dreams.
I got punked out by a chicken.
Oh yeah?
Nice.
Yeah, it was small.
And he tried to peck at you?
No, I mean they're just kind of like doing chicken stuff, but like they can step on you.
Okay. You got punked. All right. So we get our fancy shoes, and we can start making our way back to the place where we need them, the Castor Wilds. And I think that's where we're actually decided to cut this episode, right?
Yeah, I haven't played past it.
Nope.
Cool. So our next episode will probably like dash through the Castor Wilds. And try. I think we're actually gonna try to finish the next dungeon all in one episode. So this was technically our run up, even though it was side quests, kind of. Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention. If you go back to Swiftblade, you can get your third Tiger Scroll. Once you get these boots, because it is a dash attack where as you run, if you also have your sword equipped, you will run with your sword out in front of you.
That is useful.
Yes.
Unless you're a moblin.
Yeah, you gotta be a little more creative with the moblins. I mean, you can dash at them for sure, and you can make it work, but you don't want to just do it recklessly because you can just run right into them and get hurt.
No, I was just meaning for their sake that
they do it badly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they couldn't hit the blind side of a barn. They're cute when they do it.
The broadside of a barn? I'm sorry.
Nah, man.
You said the blind side of a barn.
Yeah, the moblin's blind.
That's not okay. All right, and with
that barn ain't even gonna see it coming, man.
All right. Well, you know what, guys? Thank you for listening to our episode of A4NB4Y. This has been a wild ride through the town of Hyrule and out to Syrups and back to the shoe shop and all around town. Next episode, we'll be doing all kinds of cool other stuff in the swamp. So check us out in a few weeks. Until then, peace.
Thanks for listening.
Did you get all that? Oh my, Professor Mayo. What is this new look, though?
Yes.
Professor Strong,
Trying to
man.
find the.
He's becoming a dad. Look at him. Look at him be a dad. What is this? With the beard and the thick glasses and the short hair and what is happening? Reading a book. Look at him go.
Reading a book.
I'm reading a book, Pig. You want to know what you ever interrupt me when I'm reading a book?
Even Craig's impressed. He's speechless.